Let's talk about disagreements in marriage. We've all been there, right? Those moments of friction where two people who love each other just are not on the same page. It's a universal thing. But what if those moments aren't just roadblocks? What if they're actually invitations to go deeper?
So what happens when you and your spouse disagree? I mean, really think about it. That last argument you had, maybe it was about money or how to handle the kids or something small like where to go for dinner. That tension, that frustration, yeah, it's a feeling we all know really well.
Okay, but let's get really specific here. We're not talking about those clear-cut black and white situations where one of you is asking the other to do something wrong. Nope, we're diving into that much more common territory, the clash of preferences where both of your opinions are totally valid.
And seeing it this way, it changes everything. Suddenly, that disagreement isn't a threat to your marriage. It's an opportunity. Seriously, it's a chance to glorify God, to love each other in a profound way, and to actually grow together.
So where do we start? Well, before you even think about what your spouse is doing, the very first, most crucial step is to look inward. You have to look in the mirror. You see, conflict acts like a spotlight, and it has a way of revealing what's really going on inside our own hearts.
All right, so how do we actually do that? A really practical way to check our own hearts is to look at three key areas: what we're believing in our minds, what we're wanting in our will, and what we're feeling in our affections.
First up, the mind. You got to stop and ask yourself, okay, what story am I telling myself about this? What am I believing about my spouse's intentions right now? Because so often, our perspective gets clouded by fear or assumptions or just plain old pride. We have to fight to get back to what's true.
From the mind, we move to the will. Now, it's totally okay to have wants and preferences, but the danger zone is when a good want turns into a sinful must-have. That's the flashpoint for so many arguments. So are you just expressing what you like, or are you demanding your own way?
And finally, our affections, our emotions. Are you feeling that heat of anger, that weight of frustration, maybe some resentment? Look, emotions aren't inherently bad, but we have to ask, are my feelings helping me love right now, or have they grabbed the steering wheel and are driving us toward more division?
So once you've done that internal heart check, we can kind of zoom out and remember the bigger picture, our calling in the marriage covenant itself. This is about so much more than just putting out a relational fire. It's about living out our purpose. And Scripture gives us these amazing complementary callings. For a husband, leadership isn't about being a dictator. It's about modeling the same kind of sacrificial, patient love that Christ has. And for a wife, submission isn't about being a doormat. It's a powerful posture of trust in God's design as she honors her husband.
And this verse right here from Philippians, it's the foundation for both of them. It's not about a power dynamic. It's about a shared heart of humility, a mutual commitment to put the other person first. Honestly, that's the secret sauce to the whole thing.
Okay, so with that foundation in place, let's get practical. How do we pull this off in the heat of the moment? The goal has to shift completely. It's not about winning the fight anymore. It's about a mission to understand. And for that mission, we need the right tools.
These questions are like a diagnostic for your own heart. For the husband, am I leading gently or am I being harsh? For the wife, am I resisting because of pride or out of genuine concern? These aren't weapons to use against each other. They're tools to help you get to the heart of the issue with grace.
And ultimately, for both husband and wife, it all comes down to this one powerful question. In this moment, what does God care about more, my personal comfort or our unity? Just framing it that way can change absolutely everything.
But let's be honest, sometimes, even after all of that, you're just stuck. You've hit an impasse. Two good options, two valid preferences, and no clear compromise. So what do you do then? Thankfully, we're not left to just figure it out on our own. There is a path forward.
In these gridlock moments, the husband is called to make the final decision. But, and this is so critical, he's not supposed to do it like a boss pulling rank. He's called to do it with trembling humility, knowing he's accountable to God. His goal has to be to serve his wife, not himself.
The wife's role then becomes taking a posture of trust. She honors her husband's leadership not because she's any less wise or capable, but as an act of faith. She is ultimately trusting that God's design for marriage is good, even when it's really difficult.
And this right here, this is the mindset that makes it all work. For both of them, it's a shared promise to say, I will gladly lay down my rights for the sake of love. And that's not a loss. That's an act of worship.
Now, all of this sounds beautiful, but let's be real. It's incredibly hard. So where on earth does the power to actually live this way come from? It doesn't come from just trying harder. It comes from something much, much bigger.
The gospel itself is the fuel. Just think about this. Because Christ carried your guilt, you're free from that need to defend yourself all the time. Because Christ gave up his rights for you, you're empowered to lay down yours for your spouse. Because he sees every tiny sacrifice, nothing you do in love is ever wasted. This is what makes it all possible.
So, what this all means is that God doesn't waste these hard moments. He uses them. Every single time you and your spouse disagree, it is a fresh invitation from God to become a little more humble, a little more loving, and ultimately, a little more like Jesus.
And that leaves us with one final thought to carry with us. The goal isn't just to survive the next fight. It's way bigger than that. The real question is, in your marriage, right now, and in that next disagreement you're going to have, how can you mirror the sacrificial, beautiful love of Jesus to one another?